What is going on, guys? Grave here today. I'd like to talk about convenience for crafters. This is another part of the article that ZOS released where the devs were kind of discussing all the new stuff they decided to do within Update 46, and this one mainly focused on master writs and how they've been a vital part of the crafting economy and how they decided to go with the idea of stackable master writs. It says they were accompanied by a problem of inventory pressure since their inception. There are, of course, unique requirements and unique reward amounts. Getting them to take up less space was a challenge for the team, but also an important need. It says with 10 plus years of content, they were always kind of worried about and having to adjust player inventory just in general. And one of their primary goals of making master writ stackable was to alleviate the bloat in player inventory, so the design was not needed or not intended. Of course, they didn't want it to make a problem later down the line. They said that's why they avoided something like a container. The most interesting thing about this, of course, is that a lot of people have been asking for stuff like this for a long time in game when it comes to master writs. But Rich Lambert also stated during the 2025 ESO Direct, when this was talked about, they're looking to apply this to other areas of the game to further alleviate inventory pains for players. And I always thought maybe at some point we might get some type of container, like we now have the furnishing vault. What if we eventually got some type of container or chest or whatever that would hold? And that was, of course, before they kind of mentioned it in this article, that would hold maybe your maps or your surveys. But since they're saying they didn't really want to go with a container for the master writs, that makes me think they couldn't really do it with the surveys either. So we'll kind of have to wait and see on that. A lot of people have suggested some type of bag that's kind of like what we have with the crafting bag, something that would be within ESO Plus that would give you access to a bag that you can store maps and surveys in, which would be another great thing to me. Then you could really just go in that bag and pull out kind of whatever you needed there, especially if you're doing surveys or you're going out looking for maps that would take up, of course, no room in your actual inventory. It would be in a type of crafting bag idea. I'm not sure exactly what they will do. I am glad that, like I said, Rich Lambert talked about them wanting to alleviate more pressure from inventory in game in general. Now, I know if you're like myself, you probably saved a lot of stuff over the years that you may or may not need always, but just overall, the amount of spaces that you can end up getting in total for your characters, like 215? You have, your bank space and stuff, which you're still going to run out of room, even if you max out, even if you have ESO Plus. There's a lot of items in game. A game that's been out for 10 years, you're going to end up collecting a lot of stuff. And the more new stuff that comes out, the more items that come out. You break down things, you end up with new, materials. Of course, when a new zone comes out, we end up with new treasure maps. Of course, if a new zone comes out, we end up with new surveys. And of course, if you do a lot of crafting, you always have the option to get master writs. So there is a lot of different things kind of at once that you can end up gathering or having stored on your character within a couple days. So I think that's really why they're talking about convenience for crafters and looking at this idea and bringing this and implementing it into the game to where you can have these master writs stackable, but also talking about doing other things further down the road. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. What would you like to see kind of added as a stackable thing in game, and how would you like to see them approach it? Leave it in the comment down in the comment section. Of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.